Welcome back to the Weekend Report. I'm Masachaba Mposwa. Today marks International Women's Day, which is celebrated annually on the 8th of March to emphasize the importance of advancing gender equality. This year, the day is celebrated under the theme Accelerate Action, in the hope of speeding up progress worldwide to achieve gender parity. Now, the event will celebrate women's achievements while emphasizing the need for accelerated gender parity in the context of water security and climate action. Let's speak now to Esta van Heerden, the CEO at iWater South Africa, and Lesego Gaegane, Senior Project Manager at the Water Research Commission. Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Masachaba. Thank you for your time.
Wonderful. Let's start with you, Doctor.
Good morning, Masachaba.
Good morning. Good morning. Doctor, how can we emphasize and celebrate the importance of advancing gender equality, especially in the context of water and sanitation?
Look, I think there have been fantastic achievements and developments. For us, it's more important to really get it out there in industry and to make it commercially available. And that's the role that women can play. And they can use their own professionalism with kindness to really get these new products and new developments into water treatment and also soil treatment. And this way we can improve the environment for our kids and generations to come.
All right. And Lesego, I'd love to dive into your thoughts here for a second on the role of women in water and sanitation. Can you share your perspective on why women play a critical role, particularly in water management and decision-making processes?
So I think as women, we're not only participants or we're affected by water insecurity. And I think the role that we have played is most importantly at grassroots levels, where you have women in communities who have developed solutions, not only to uplift themselves, but to also address the issues that are facing in the forefront from a water perspective. And I think the idea is to ensure that those women are actually elevated and the successes in terms of them being able to kind of bridge the gap between the knowledge of technical aspects of solving water issues is brought to obviously to the forefront, but also the role that women play in obviously policy decisions, in policy governance, and making sure that there are technical solutions that can be brought to the forefront to not only solve the water crisis, but also ensure that the solutions are not only viable from a financial perspective, but they can be also adopted, implemented, and also inform policy reform. So these are the type of roles that women have been playing in the water space and in terms of water resource management. And I think what International Women's Day brings to us is the ability to be able to celebrate, to enhance the solutions and bring them to the forefront, but also to showcase the journey that we as women have gone through, obviously, in terms of, as you said, gender parity and inclusivity.
Dr. van Heerden, why are women underrepresented in decision-making when it comes to water, climate change? What can be done to address this imbalance? All right. It seems we have lost the doctor there. But Lesego, I'll come to you. What do you believe are the biggest barriers to women's participation in the water sector? And how can we work to overcome them?
So I think it's representation in the sense that we need to kind of still work towards obviously elevating the adoption of women to STEM sectors. So through obviously academia and us as women who are working in the sector to encourage our younger generation to participate, but also to ensure that there are representation of women in these decision-making institutes and frameworks and also organizations. So I think one of a key milestone that we have seen in the water sector and through our CEO, Dr. Jennifer Molwanta, who has been appointed as one of the board members in the Africa Water and Sanitation Association Board. And ideally, this is a pivotal moment for us as women to see that there is a step forward towards women playing a leadership role across the continent, across the globe, and obviously playing strategic decision-making roles. And ideally, that's how we can participate as women in making sure that there is inclusivity and there's more women who are ideally participating in the water sector, but also playing mentorship roles and encouraging women to kind of form a circle of stewardship to encourage women to obviously be part of the water sector and step up, to be bold enough to be able to take up positions that might be scary but challenging, but ideally contribute towards water security and water resource management.
And what policy changes or advocacy efforts do you think are necessary to promote women's participation and leadership in the water and sanitation sector?
So I think the policies that are required is ideally inclusivity, and also when you look at Esta, who's an entrepreneur, I think there needs to be more policies regarding unlocking financial mechanisms for women who ideally are migrating from a professional space into the entrepreneurial space, because we need more women innovators. So we need policies that are geared up to set up an enabling environment for women to be able to be entrepreneurs, to be business women and innovators, so that they can develop these solutions for us. And we also need policies that is inclusive to address the challenges that women face. So we need policies that address obviously the lack of skills that women face in community level, in the rural areas. We need policies that are able to address some of the shortage of skills that we have with regards to women who are passionate about participating, but obviously have barriers in terms of accessing the sector.
So Lesego, as a chemical engineer and senior project manager, what advice would you give to young people, especially those wishing to pursue careers in STEM fields, particularly in water and sanitation?
Excuse me, Master Chaba, can you just repeat that?
I was saying, as a chemical engineer and a senior project manager, what advice would you give to young people who are interested in pursuing careers in STEM fields, particularly in water and sanitation?
I think bridging the gap between passion and talent is quite key. I think passion drives you when obviously you are facing challenges and navigating the water sector and some of obviously the challenges that you would face. But also, as I said, being bold enough to kind of take up challenges and roles that you would not normally take up. So being able to say that you are capable, being able to ensure that you also upskill yourself, that you provide yourself with the necessary adequate technical competencies that are required, but also in terms of finding out knowledge in terms of where can you play a part, because women can not only play a part in a technical sphere. There's also the financing aspect of the water sector. There's also the procurement aspect of the financing sector. So there's various facets where young females can participate, and ideally it's about knowledge and capacitating yourself in terms of what are your talents, what are you passionate about, and ideally merging that to be able to participate in the various facets that are available within solving our water issues and being part of the water sector.